so there's 41 players on the spring training roster as of date of recording, and that still leaves open one spot for a particular young man, Jordan Walker. He's still got an ability to make this team. I think that he's got a good chance. But before I get too far into it, we'll start our segment, Jordan Walker Watch.
Yeah, so Jordan Walker, this is kind of my first well, I guess I've been a little negative on him. Not really negative, just one to hold back on him. But this is the first time we've seen him slump. So since March 11th, he's gone 4 for 29, which is a 138 batting average. He did hit 2 doubles in that span. And then the other worrisome thing is he only has 1 walk with 12 strikeouts in spring training. He still carries that 859 OPS, which is still very impressive with that slump, So I think he will come right out of it, but that still puts my estimated date at May 20th, and I'm not changing it.
Yeah. Yeah, I still think with that spot open, I think the only reason they do that is to bring Jordan Walker onto the roster. I like who else are they going to pull onto the team? There's no like pitching just miraculously out there that will help the team anyway. So I think that is why they do that. It's kind of interesting that it's taking them this long. Maybe it is because he started to slump, but I really don't have that many concerns. I know a lot of people were saying since March 11th, that date that you chose, which was the date of his injury, he has really started to slump. And I really don't think that there's much to the injury issue there. I mean, they basically shrugged it off the whole way. And if he truly was hurting in his shoulder, he wouldn't be swinging as well as he is. He's still putting good swings on the ball. It's just he's just not finding the hits that he normally was getting. In terms of strikeouts, I know you said he doesn't seem like he's seeing the ball very well, but Jim, as much as he does annoy people and myself in general, Jim Edmonds did talk about his experience hitting in Roger Dean Stadium. And as far as excuses go, this is an excuse, but it is hard to hit there. From his personal experience and from other players' experience, they talk about how difficult it is with the backdrop, even though that there is a batter's eye. Particularly with lefties, apparently there's I think an advertisement that's in white that's very close to the batter's eye. And then today they were referencing that there was a white tent that was very close to the batter's eye. So I think that it's just the Roger Dean effect a little bit that's contributing to it. And as soon as he gets to the majors, I mean, he's going to be able to do everything that he's been doing. I don't know. I mean, you can certainly say that he's injured or that there's something wrong. I think that there's more factors to it than just like his body or his inability to play. I think that there's some ballpark factors as well as it's just kind of the dog days of spring training, really. So I'm sure he's just aching to get to where he thinks he wants to be, and I don't think that the Cardinals are going to stop just because of these last couple of games.
Yeah, I agree, and it still is like a lower strikeout rate. It was actually 13 strikeouts and 60 at bats, which comes out to like a 21% strikeout rate, which in the grand scheme really isn't that bad. It was mainly the walks that I was looking at because
Yeah, that is a little concerning.
just because it's like if his OPS is 859 with 1 walk, I mean, imagine if he just starts walking,
Yeah.
1 to 2, the ratio of 1 to 2 with his strikeouts. If he had 6 walks to 12 strikeouts, then he's got a over 900 OPS.
Right.
So,
And I was thinking too, and I forgot to say it. I mean, I think he's just trying to impress. I think he's swinging like he's trying to be aggressive. I mean,
yeah.
they're giving him obviously the most at bats that they can, and I think that that's part of what that is. I think he's not being as selective as he could be because he wants to show off what he can do. Now, obviously, that is a detriment if you aren't able to pull it off at a certain point. But for a good half of spring training, he was Superman. I mean, like he was doing everything. So I think this is a little bit less emblematic than what the first half of it was. And I don't know. We both could be wrong. Who knows? But I do think that there are a little bit more factors behind it than just the injury or things slipping from Jordan Walker's grasp. Yeah.
So is he starting left field on opening day still?
I kind of agree with Fangraphs to be able to get people better defenders in. I don't see why you don't DH him. I'm pretty sure Fangraphs has him in there right now as the DH. And so until he can kind of get more reps, because he really hasn't been playing outfield a whole lot. I don't think he did in Double A hardly at all until the end of the year. I think until you get him more reps, I don't think you start him at in the outfield. I still think you go Carlson, Nootbaar, and O'Neill. O'Neill being in center, Nootbaar in right, and then Carlson in left. I think is kind of how it's going to play out. But I do think he's DHing for sure.
I will say if I know it's Jordan Walker watch, but real quick, I do think if Carlson starts, I think he will be in center and then O'Neill in left. But that does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. You would like a young player to get out there and play defense and get the flow of the game. But at the same token, it's like if you take O'Neill, Nootbaar, Carlson out of the outfield, you're losing a lot of defense.
Yeah.
No matter who it is. I mean, that's
Mm-hmm.
a really good defensive outfield. It's 3 center fielders playing
Right.
each position. So, yeah, I don't know. I sure hope he makes opening day. I hope he's our DH. But personally, what I think is I still see him spending some time in AAA, proving that he is the guy, and then coming up on my date of May 20th.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. We'll have to see. It's going to be interesting. There's still a week left, so there's a lot of time for their decision to be made. I don't know who else, again, fits into that spot. And I don't think, other than Paul DeYoung going down.
DeYoung's hurt, so who's going to be our backup shortstop, you think?
I think you kind of work around that with bringing up somebody probably like Kramer Robertson.
Yeah. Makes sense.
And what I'd really like, and what's unfortunate, I mean, I'm pretty sure they played. I think in preparation for that, they played Taylor Motter at shortstop one day. I mean, this guy's ginormous, and he's playing shortstop. I think they're trying to figure out a way to get this guy on the team. Because if you've watched him play, and we can talk about him when we get into our top performers, they've definitely tried to put him there. But yeah, I mean, I think Jordan Walker fills in, and then because of DeYoung going down, I'm sure it's going to be either Kramer Robertson or Taylor Motter.
Yeah, Robertson would probably make the most sense just because he's that utility guy. He can pinch run late innings and stuff. So
right.
Yeah, that would make sense.